Edmond, it's 12 days to go before Kenya become the host of the IAAF World Under-18 Youth Championship. There was activity in the morning. We saw some senior government officials led by the CS for Interior, Mr. Joseph Nkaiseri, as well the CS for Sports, Mr. Hassan Wario, and they were led by the CEO of the local organizing committee, Mr. Mwangi Muthee, who has been so busy trying to make sure that Kenya gets ready before that global event. And Mwangi is here with me to tell us about what really went down in the morning. Mr. Mwangi, thank you so much for joining us. It was quite unexpected to see the likes of the CS, both of them for Interior and Sports, so early in the morning at the Kenyatta University hostels and later on here. Were you informed?
Well, it was a very, very short notice visit. And, right now we are in the competition mode. And it's not always that a country has a chance to host a championship like the one we are going to host. This is a World Cup. And you can see how seriously the government is taking this championship. When you have an opportunity to host a championship like the one we are hosting in 12 days' time, you must always make sure that you are prepared. The government has invested a lot of money. They have put in a lot of money in this championship. The local organizing committee has put in a lot of work. And what we have done will count for nothing if we drop the ball now. And it's very, very important that everybody is focused. As you see, everyone is very, very busy. There are many people meeting in closed doors. There are contractors on the sites. There are many, many things that needs to be coordinated. But all that is what will culminate into a good championship.
Wow, and to host a good championship, everything has to be in place. We went through Kenyatta University, the hostels, which are going to be the athletes' village as well. In your own assessment so far, 12 days to go, are we getting there, or are we there, or are we yet to be there?
I can comfortably say, and I would like Kenyans to be proud of the work that they have done. And I would like every Kenyan to be proud of what has been done on their behalf by the local organizing committee. Kenya is ready. Kenya is ready. Kenya is ready. Kenya is ready. And the most important thing is that the LOC is not going to embarrass Kenyans. We want Kenyans to be proud of the work that has been done, because everything we are doing on behalf of the public. We are using public money, and it is public responsibility that we achieve everything according to their expectations. And I am happy to say next week, when the opening ceremony is done, just behind here, I would like every Kenyan to come forward and support this event. This is a very huge stadium. We want 60,000 Kenyans to come there and make noise and support all those youngsters coming from across the globe, because this is a golden opportunity to pay back to the world all the hosting that Kenya has received worldwide since the 50s, when we started getting our name in athletics.
And of course, for Kenyans to come and flock the Kasarani Stadium, they must have tickets. Just tell us, how can Kenyans or anyone who wants to come to watch these games live at Kasarani Stadium, where do they access the tickets? How much are they going for?
We want the tickets to be cheap, especially the public areas. Nobody will be able to pay more than 200 shillings. Some tickets will be as low as 100 shillings, and we want as many Kenyans to participate. We are also giving free tickets, but we don't want to have free lunches. We don't want to give people free, people don't like freebies. So we are asking any organized group, if it's as a primary school, if it's a secondary school, if it's a college, if it's a university, if it's a church organization, if you can plant 50 trees in your compound. We are working with International IAAF Council for Responsible Sport. And we're also working with the late Professor Wangari Maathai Foundation, Green Belt Movement. And anyone who plants a tree will get a ticket to come to the stadium at a day of his or her choice. And we want to make sure that legacy, we want to plant 100,000 trees. And that legacy is one of the legacies that will be left behind by this championship. Other legacies being left behind by this championship, of course, you know, we have renewed Kasarani. Kasarani is now a brand new stadium. And the main challenge we are going to have as sports people is how we are going to maintain this infrastructure. Because what can kill the spirit of this local organizing committee is if we come back here 6 months down the line and we find that Kasarani has been vandalized or we cannot maintain the standards that we have set. We must make sure we support the government, we support Sports Kenya, so that the standards that we have set can be maintained and they can serve Kenya sports. The other one is Kenyatta University. You saw what has been created at the Nyayo village. It's like a hotel. It's like a 3-star hotel. Actually, when IAAF came here 2 weeks ago, some of the delegation members, some of the delegates were saying, they would be comfortable in staying at that village. That is how proud we should be as Kenyans, because we have set standards and we are showing that Kenya is ready to host a championship of this magnitude, and there is no reason why IAAF should not bring the world championships, like the one that is hosted by London in just over a month away.
Are we expecting the president to grace the opening ceremony?
Yes, of course. The President of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, will be the chief guest during the opening ceremony, and we expect him to declare the event open. And of course, you know, the opening ceremony is an opportunity for Kenya to showcase itself, and I'm sure during the opening ceremony and the rest of the week, when Kenya is going to be on the limelight across the globe, Kenyans, we are going to make sure that we are reflected for the right reasons, and the right image is the one that is going out there. We have also, as the LOC, we have looped in Magical Kenya, and we want to promote Kenya tourism. And the whole week will be a celebration of Kenyan tourism. You'll see a lot of Magical Kenya, but above everything else, the athletes who are coming to Kenya are young. And when they are here, you know, young people are special people. Wherever they travel, young people, they travel with their peers, they travel with their contemporaries, they travel with their parents, their relatives, their governments. So we must make sure we treat them well, because what they'll be beaming across the globe is the message that should be a good message about Kenya.
And I'm sure you've been in touch with maybe the hotel industry. So far, what have they told you? Is it fully booked for some of them?
It will be boom time for hoteliers, and I'm sure they don't give you statistics until after the event. Okay. But from next week all the way up to after the event, the 10 days plus, it will be a boom time for hoteliers, and we wish them well, because they are the hosts of our visitors.
You know, each and every international event, there is the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony. Those two events actually set the benchmark, and the standards are expected to be so high. Now, this is an IAAF world event. So far, I haven't seen any rehearsal, or where are they doing it for the opening ceremony precisely?
Opening ceremony, there's a lot happening in the background, and I can assure Kenyans, they be here on Wednesday early enough to enjoy the morning session. They come back here in the afternoon for the opening ceremony and enjoy the afternoon session. And the opening ceremony, I can assure Kenyans, it will be memorable, and it will be a statement about Kenya that will reverberate across the globe.
The chairman for the local organizing committee, also the Athletics Kenya chairman, retired General Tuwe, also mentioned about you're going to involve some retired athletes, you're going to celebrate them, you're also going to involve the current world and Olympic champions. How?
Well, that's a very, very important question. You know very well. What are we celebrating now? Why do we have an event? Somebody paid the bills. And the people who paid the bills for Kenya to host this is the athletes, the former athletes. If you go anywhere in this world, wherever you go, the first question people ask you when they hear you're from Kenya, the first question they ask you is, oh, can you run? Are you an athlete? Why? Because athletes are our best ambassadors. These are the best ambassadors of this country. When you see on television David Rudisha finishing and then going for the flag, and making the flag fly with the wind. There is no better publicity for a nation than that. And they have done this since the days of people like Nyantika Mayoro in the 50s. Up to today, the former Olympics, the immediate former Olympic, the immediate Olympics in Rio. This is payback time. Those ambassadors, those heroes who have put Kenya up there on a pedestal, we must thank them. And we must identify with them because this championship belongs to them. And we have got a lounge here, a VIP lounge. You see where I'm pointing there, number 20? There is a VIP lounge where we are going to host all those heroes. And those heroes will have access to the athletes, such that athletes and the heroes can mingle. We have already been cleared by IAAF to allow that because some of those athletes, young and upcoming athletes, have only heard about David Rudisha. They have never met him. They have only heard about Vivian Cheriot. But when they are together there, a word of inspiration will go a long way. And we want them to interact, and we want them to feel good. We want them to appreciate them and know that Kenya appreciates our heroes.
I'll repeat the question I posed on the CS for Interior, Mr. Joseph Nkaiseri, about the timing of the event. We're going to be 3 weeks to the general elections, and then also we have the World Championship. In terms of logistics, will there be interference?
Well, the timing for this event, with the general elections being in a couple of weeks, I think it's God sent, because we are giving Kenyans an alternative breather. You know, life, you don't live on bread alone. The same, you cannot live on politics alone. And whether there's politics or not, we are Kenyans, and life must go on. And we must realize that Kenyans are one. And when we are filling this stadium, we are not telling Kikuyus to come and fill the stadiums, or Kalejins to come and fill the stadiums, or Luos to come and fill the stadiums. We are appealing to Kenyans to come and fill the stadiums so that we can enjoy ourselves as Kenyans. The hosts of this event is not the Kalenjin community, it's not the Kikuyu community. The government is the host institution, but they're the host institution on behalf of every Kenyan. So every Kenyan is welcome here. This is an event for every Kenyan. We pay tribute. The government has done a lot of work, but that's the duty of the government. It's supposed to do exactly that. And we are very, very thankful to the government, and we would like that to continue so that Kenya can be able to host many, many more events. But this is the first one, and it's a benchmark for every other potential sporting organizations that would like to host such events. And that is why every sporting federation, we are going to be inviting them here, because what has happened here is not just for athletics, it's for Kenya sports. And we would like every federation to benchmark with what we are doing here so that they can also lay claim, because it will go on to records. And what we have done is for all Kenyans, for all sports, and we should celebrate it as sporting nation, Kenya. Yeah.
Before I let you go, I know you have been burning the midnight oil just to make sure that things are in place. My last would be, I'm sure each and everything has an up and down. What has been your challenge? Some of the challenges that have been in place as for you, the local organizing committee. I know earlier on there was an issue about the budgets, the government remitting money. Not sure if that was done fully, but what are some of the challenges you've gone through so far?
Well, challenges have been many, but I want to tell you that you cannot achieve anything in life without challenges. And when you face challenges, that's when you become stronger and more innovative. But I would like to pay tribute to the government, because if the government was not committed to this project, it could never have happened. I want to tell you, I'm a sportsman, and I've been in sports for a long, long time. And organizing events like this without government intervention, unless we live in an economy like United Kingdom or an economy like USA, like the World Championships in London, that is all done corporate. But even last year, when we had the World Championships in Beijing, it was the government intervention. So I'm happy that as a government, in Kenya, as the Kenyan government, know that it's their responsibility to make sure that events like this go without hitch. They are organized without hitches, but of course, you know the way the government works. The government has so much responsibility. There is healthcare. Doctors need payment, nurses need payments, engineers, lords, maids, what, and sports also need to be supported. So we also need to be lenient when we bash the government.
Before I let you to sneak back into that meeting that you are chairing, you are the former chairman for the Kenya Rugby Union, and now coming back in a big way to be the chairman of the local organizing committee for the IAAF World Youth Championship. Are you leaving a legacy here, or are you just proving some people wrong in other areas?
Not at all. You know, people are born differently. People have got different upbringing. People have different work ethics. People have different attitudes towards work. But if you work hard than someone else, if I work harder than you, doesn't mean that I'm special, more special than you. What I'm trying to say is that when you are given a responsibility to do it to the best of your capability.
Okay.
If you are given a responsibility to do any responsibility, do it to the best of your capability. The rest, leave it. Because that's it. You believe in God, do what you need to do, leave the rest for other people.
Wow, thank you so much. And we'll leave the rest for our viewers to judge and see whether we'll host a successful event. But according to Mwangi Muthee, the CEO of the local organizing committee, it's all systems go, 12 days to go. And this stadium you see behind me will host the opening ceremony of the World Under-18 Championship. Mr. Mwangi, thank you so much for being with us, and all the best in your future endeavor. Thank you so much. As I told you earlier on, there has been activity here at the Kasarani Stadium as well as the Kenyatta University, which is the official athlete village. What happened earlier is that we saw the cabinet secretaries for Interior as well as Sports, Joseph Kaiseri and Hassan Wario, inspecting the Kenyatta University Nyayo hostels just to check if everything is in order, and they've given it a thumbs up. They say the hostels are impressive and it's all system go.